whichever is there, whichever is there, you can undertake that also. So if you make it varied, then automatically what will happen? This will become very compact. That is to be understood by the researcher. Now, as far as the research paper in the journal is concerned, now this is one of the best area where you will get the old and new material. Of course, the basic material you will get from the textbook and reference book only. That is the conceptual clarity about the title. And that conceptual clarity about the title, like yesterday I discussed about a study of malnutrition in the students of uh, X tribe in Nagpur district, X tribe in Gulbarga district, X tribe in the X district of Telangana. You can very well access the material related to that malnutrition and about the geographical area which you are undertaking. Both the things are very important. So you will get the conceptual clarity from the textbooks only, reference material only, from the websites of the government where the mention about the tribes is there. Ministry of Tribal Affairs, there also you will get the details about that. So try to jot down the areas from where you are going to get the material. If you try to jot down from the area where you are going to get the material, then of course you will be in total control of the research work which you are doing. And when you start with the review of literature, I yesterday like just told you, then you are under control from the first day because you are taking the uh, right step in the right direction. What happens? Student starts with introduction. They think that introduction is my first chapter, so I will start with introduction. No, introduction is not the chapter which is to be undertaken first. The first thing which you should undertake is a review of literature, and that is why I advocated that you should go for the review of literature from varied sources. I think Sunil Wagmare is listening, and he will also do the thing which he has done yesterday. So just a hint for him. So title of the book I have just told you how to write the review of the book. Second is the research paper. Now, the biggest advantage is that in this, the old and new material or old and new work is projected because whenever you write a research paper, what do? You try to see you try to do the pilot survey or you try to review the literature and then you try to find the gaps. And when you find the gaps, then you undertake to write the paper. So in this fashion, you move systematically towards writing a paper. It's not easy to write a paper, but then you have to do a lot of homework. Then you should fix what you have to write. That is the title, and then you can proceed. So in this manner, what happens? If you proceed, there will not be any repetition of the paper. If you write the paper and then you find that it is similar to the previous paper to the extent of 80, 90%, then you will repent that I have spent so much time and I have taken so much pain in writing the paper. I, excuse me, it would have been better if I would have undertaken the review. That is why repetition should not be there. Then for that purpose, you should undertake the review. And that review has to be undertaken at the second point, that is the research papers which are inscribed, which are there included in the journal. Now, the biggest advantage is that old and new data, old and new progression of research in that particular field. And second is the structure of the paper is such that after the title, you will have a abstract. And that abstract is nothing but the gist, the gist of all the three questions which I have mentioned about. You have to write about the book. So that review which you are writing about the book is all mentioned in the abstract of the newspaper, the research paper. And in that abstract, what is the research paper is about, what work it explains, and what is the inference, that is the conclusion about the research paper, and what do you learn from that research paper that will be uh, understood by a researcher when he or she undertakes the review of that research paper. And the best thing is, before reading the paper, you can just read the title and read the abstract. You know whether this is related to your research topic or not. If it is related to a research topic, then what should you do? You should read the whole paper. And if you read the whole paper, you will also be in a position to understand that whether there is some latest information in related to my domain of research work which I am undertaking that can be included in my research paper, that you can write it very well. So this is something where research 100% in every research paper there is an abstract, and that abstract will show, that abstract will explain, that abstract is self-explanatory, what is there included in the research paper. Friends, you should go for extensive review of the research paper related to your title of research. I would like to say that if you are all aspiring for PhD research, the minimum number of research paper you should review is in the range of 35 to 40. And if you review this much paper, I think you will be appraised of all the latest things, and you will be appraised of the information chronologically, which is coming from the old to the new one. So if you have that chronological information from the old to the new one, it is easy to find the gap, and it is easy to search for the variables of the study before finalizing the questionnaire, because you are in the first part of the research work, that is doing the research review of literature. So the first thing is review of literature of the book, and how to write the review of the research paper. Then there is another big question mark in front of the researchers: how to write the review of the articles which are there in newspaper and magazines. So when you undertake, or when you read the article, and if you understand the article, and if you find that it is related to your research work, you can very well take it as a review. And also, you can do the review yourself, because in the article, review is not mentioned. So, what are the three questions you will ask? The first question you will ask relating to the review of literature of a article is that what the article is about. ये article किस this is the topic, then you will write about 2 to 3 lines about the article which has been written by the author uh, for the problems of working women which they are facing while they are working in the banks. Because the problems of women as a teacher is different, problem of woman as a policeman, police woman is different. Uh, the problem of you can say the women uh, who are working in banks is different. So that is why the focus of that particular article will be when you undertake the uh, writing of that particular uh, article is what the article is about. Second, what does the author want to say? What the author want to say in the article? Now, this is a very strategic question. What the article is about, it is about XYZ, that is related to the problems of women in the banks, problems of malnutrition in the students, problems of inventory management in the industry, problems of inventory management in road transport corporation. You can write it. But the second question, what does the author want to convey? But what the author want to say? This means that the author wants to bring to the light certain problems or certain things which are not known commonly to the people. That 2 to 3 lines, if you write, then what message does the article convey? Or what does the article wants to establish? If you ask this question, that is the last question, you will write 2 to 3 lines about this. That is nothing but the inference of the article. Because towards the end of the each article which is written in newspaper or magazine, towards the end, there is a concluding remark by the author. And that concluding remark is the outcome of that particular, you can say, article which is written in the magazine or newspaper. So today, if you see after going from here, after the sessions in the evening, if you see the newspaper or magazine article, just read it from this point of view of research and you will understand what is the article about, what does the author want to say, and what is the conclusion or outcome which is inscribed in that particular article. Inscribed means written. And what is the outcome of that particular, you can say, article which is there in the newspaper and magazine. This needs to be understood. So if you are aware, again, friends, remember, when I say writing the review, first, what will you write? The 7 points. You will write in the review of the book. You will write in the review of the research paper. And then you will write the 7 points relating to the article which is there in the magazine and newspaper. Many times there is a question mark that out of the 7, there may be one point which is not there. Like ISBN and ISSN number is not there. It's not, no problem. You're writing the name of the author. You're writing the year of publication. You're writing the title of that particular newspaper or magazine where the article has come. You're writing the title of the article also. And you are mentioning the publication. Like, for example, if you look at the Times of India, then Bennett and Coleman, they are the what you call the owner of the newspaper, and you can very well write the name of the organization also who owns the paper. So that is the name of the publication who is undertaking that, and place of publication will suffice if it is a newspaper which is there in regional newspaper, national newspaper, sometimes international newspaper is also there. So you can very well understand it. Then, as far as the PhD or MPhil research is concerned, same thing which you have written about the book is that you can write about the dissertation, you can write about the uh, PhD thesis also. Ask 3 questions, answer that questions, and you will be able to write it. A detailed inscription can be done. How the detailed inscription can be done? In the third question, what is the outcome? What does the author wants to say? In the last question, you can refer the conclusions and suggestions which are given by the researcher. So I was mentioning about the newspaper and magazine. In that newspaper and magazine, most of the time the international standard book number, that is ISBN, and international standard series number, ISSN, is not there. No need. Out of the seven, if one is missing, write the sixth one in the chronological order. Don't worry about that. And when you mention about that particular review which you have undertaken, what will happen? It brings credibility that you have reviewed and you are mentioning all the facts. And when you mention all the facts, that can be credible at from any angle, at any point of research, wherever you are undertaking. Most of the time, people say that it is controversial, this and that. It is all rubbish. You once it is published for all. That material you can also take it, which is related to your research work. Most of the time, uh, people also ask the question whether there will be any privacy issues or not. Those privacy issues, if comes only when you copy maximum from that article or maximum from the thesis or MPhil, because we have a habit of copying the chapters as it is from that particular research work. That is hopeless, rubbish. You don't do that. And don't worry about the number of pages which is there in your research work. It is not expected that the thesis should be huge, or if the thesis is big one. No, it's not like that. You can present your research work in 35, 40 pages also. And if you want to be just only focus, no other extra related material you want to, it can be between 80 to 100 pages also. But most of the time, what happens, if the researcher is using the optimum technique, and if the the research work is technical, so the review and the data analysis is bigger chapters. They tend to come around 30, 35, 40 pages. 35, 40 pages when they come to around in the technical research, then these together will become 80. If the other three constitute 40 pages, it will come in between 120 to 150 pages. That is optimum, and don't go beyond that, because it is to put unnecessary theory. मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ कि भूसा मत भरिए उसके अंदर. No need. It is not required. Those things which are not required in that particular thesis, don't take it. So I was talking about the review. We have just done it. The title of the book, the title of the review of the book, review of the journal, review of the newspaper and magazine article, and review of MPhil and PhD dissertation and thesis. About the review of report, this is something uh, I will try to see that my voice will not break, because I'm modulating the voice. Sometimes I speak in a low tone, and sometimes I speak in a high pitch. So that is why there is a variation. So it breaks. Anyway, it will not be too embarrassing for you. Uh, I was talking about the review of how to write the review of the reports of committees and commissions. Again, you can ask the question, after writing these seven things, you may, in this writing the review of committees, commissions, and inquiry commissions, out of the seven, you may get only three or four things which is uh, related to that particular review of committee, commission, or inquiry. So in that, you may get only 4 points out of the seven. No problem. The inquiry about who is the author, who is the title of the commission, you can write when it was done and what was the title of the committee or commission or the inquiry, then what is the inquiry was about, the name of the publication who undertook who published that, and place of publication. It may be government of Maharashtra, government of Telangana, government of Karnataka, government of Madhya Pradesh, or it may be central government of India. It may be a corporation like, or it is a review when you are doing the review. One more important thing, sometimes some of the regulatory authorities, they appoint the commissions. Regulatory authorities, to give you an example, Security Exchange Board of India, it regulates the capital markets. It comes under Ministry of Finance. Either SEBI is doing that, or you will find the Ministry of Finance is doing that. You must have you seen in the latest scenario, there was a fiasco about the shares of Adani, how it was manipulated, and you will find that Hindenburg report has come. And apart from that, you will also find that the government of India has also instituted an inquiry, and the SEBI panel is doing the inquiry. So if the topic is related to the stock market, that report can come in that. The contents of that report can be taken. It related to the safety and security of the investor, how the investors are deceived, how the investors are misled. Many things can come. One more thing I would like to point out, if you are doing the research in areas of economics, marketing, and even in commerce, like recent judgment by the Supreme Court relating to the Patanjali products. Baba Ramdev was reprimanded. He was given a caution by the Supreme Court that you should focus on the what you call the product and its qualities. You should not give some vague explanations which are not scientifically proved, and that vague explanation should not mislead the customers. So such type of things can come in the what you call the research which you can do related to marketing and allied subjects. Friends, after completing the review of literature, your first and third chapter will also be ready, and the second chapter is already ready because you have undertaken the review. And when you proceed further, before going for the search of data or thinking about the data, you should finalize once again, take a review of sampling technique. The reason for this sampling technique is that it is the crux of the what you call uh, the research work. Why it is the crux of? Because if you make an error in selecting the sample, your results may also vary. And that is why sampling technique is very important. Drawing a scientific selection of a sample is always credible, and it will help you to reduce the number of errors. Selecting individual members means the subset of the population, keeping in mind the time and cost. This is very important when you select the sample or draw this sample in a scientific manner. You should keep two things in mind: time constraint and cost. Why? Because when you are undertaking the research work, you are alone as a researcher. As a dissertation, if you are doing for MPhil, or if you are doing PhD research work, you are alone. You don't have the support of the team. You don't have the support of co-investigator. You don't have the support of assistants. So you do it alone. So when you do it alone, two things should be kept in mind. Time constraint, because you have limited time, and the cost which you are going to incur. If you keep these two things in mind, you will be able to select the optimum sample, which will be feasible for a researcher to approach and collect the data. Of course, some researcher have the advantage, the study is such that they can collect the data by electronic means also. They can forward it through WhatsApp or email, the Google form. You can send it to the respondent, and that respondent will fill it and he will send it back, or he will fill it online and it will be recorded. So you have that, some people have that advantage, but every researcher does not have advantage, because if you undertake the research in some rural area, or related to semi-urban area, where you don't have the facility that the respondent will respond electronically. So in that situation, you have to go to the researcher and you have to find out what is uh, the state of the questionnaire. Then broadly, if you simplify these two types, that is probability sampling and non-probability sampling, uh, if you need to understand the probability and non-probability. In probability, it is in the positive notion. And what is there in the positive notion? If you understand the meaning of probability, it is nothing but it sets the criteria and select the members randomly. It sets the criteria and selects the member randomly. This in this probability sampling, there is equal opportunity for all the population of being selected as a respondent. Equal opportunity. So when you select randomly also, you can select one from the left side, one from the right side, one from the middle, one from the just inside to the right and inside to the left. So there is a possibility that any respondent can be chosen when you are undertaking probability sampling. This means that in probability sampling, you are knowing the population. You are under control of the population. And when you know the population, you are under control of the population, it is very easy to select. The standard is anything up to 10% of the population, it is valid and it is also credible. So 10% many times is huge. Then you can go for optimization technique. How to take the minimum sample or optimum sample out of that huge sample size which is known to you, and but it is not feasible to approach the 10%, because it is coming in thousands and lakhs. So when it is coming in thousands and lakhs, the 10%, it is impossible to approach. Then what to do? Apply some formula and try to find out. So that is one simple method. Non-probability, if you want to explain, it chooses the members randomly, and method is not fixed, not predefined, because you don't know whether the population is infinite to what extent. You don't. And that is why you do not fix the criteria of when you are undertaking a non-probability sampling technique. If we go little bit in detail, we will be able to understand the probability and non-probability. This will be a stepping stone for the next week's statistical analysis, which will be undertaken by the statistics and mathematics teachers. So this will, if you know this basic, you will be able to understand that also. So that is why I'm trying to make it simple for you, so that if you simplify, if I simplify, then you will be able to understand. See, in the probability sampling technique, there are again four broad sampling techniques divided into four. The first one is simple random sampling. Simple random sampling is self-explanatory, where every member of the population or the universe, population and universe are same. In some books it is written population, in some books it is written universe. So don't get confused also. So in this, every member from the universe or the population has equal chance of being selected as a respondent. And when there is a chance of being selected as a respondent, this means that there is a probability of being selected. So this is simple random sampling in the probability sampling technique. One. The second is cluster sampling. Now, how this cluster is defined? See, when researcher divides the population in sections, in groups, in cluster. For example, a group of students undertaking uh, computer science course, a group of students undertaking the course of microbiology, a group of students undertaking the course of become accounting, a group of students undertaking the course of MA economics, and their specialization is microeconomics, industrial economics. This you can divide into certain section, you can divide into certain group, or you can form a cluster about those things. Now, how this cluster can be identified? Like group, you can very well segregate from boys and girls, men and women. These are the groups. In men and women also, group of the age, boys and girls also, from 5 to 10, and from 10 to 13. These are the groups which you can make, or 5 to 7, or 7 to 10, or 11 to 14. These can be the groups for boys and girls also. So in this, cluster can be identified on the basis of, you can say, demographic parameter, and that is age, sex, income, and location, that is geographical location. You can very well do. Like if you are undertaking the study of the students and about their IQ, that is intelligent quotient, how can you study the intelligent quotient of the different students? You can study like this, a study of the understanding of mathematics subjects by English medium students, high school English medium students. So it is about the understanding of about mathematics of high school students. So high school students, I have taken up the title of English medium schools. If I want to do the comparison, I can take English and Marathi. If I want to do the comparison, I will also say English, Hindi, Marathi, Urdu, Pali, Buddhism, Sanskrit schools students who understand the mathematics. I can do the comparative study also. So it is on the basis of age, sex, income, location. You can very well form a cluster, and why you are segregating the cluster? Because it is easy to take the sample from that cluster only. Don't go beyond that cluster because your title is focused. High school means right from 8 to 10. Middle school means 5, 6, 7. And primary means 1 to 4. So this is very clearly defined. And when you define it, the cluster, you can very well take the sample from that only. There will not be an error. You are you are asking about the interest in studying history, then naturally you will have to talk about the students from 1 to 10 only, because history subject is taught. But you can make the cluster of that. Primary school students, middle school students, high school students, you can make the cluster and you can choose the sample from that cluster. Make it simple for the survey. The reason for that is like the government surveys. Uh, how does the government do the surveys? See, the biggest survey which is there in the world, not I'm saying about government of India, world, at world level, census of the government of India. It's a very big survey, which is the biggest in the one in the world, because you are probing over a billion people, uh, and that survey is undertaken for a, more than a billion people. And that is the biggest survey which is undertaken, and you will find that the credibility of that survey is accepted by the big organizations throughout the world. All economists, they acclaim it. So it's really a very good research work undertaken by the government of India. Methodology is very nice. So the government also conducts small surveys related to handicapped people in Marathwada region, handicapped people in Maharashtra, handicapped people in other states, then widows, how many they are, orphans, how many they are, child labor, how many they are. All these surveys can be done and information can be gathered by the government of India or different agencies which are undertaking the work of inquiry. Friends, in the probability sampling technique, apart from simple random sampling, number one, and just now we have discussed, excuse me, the cluster sampling. You can also go for the third one, that is the systematic sampling. Now, as the name suggests, here what you do is you choose the sample members at regular intervals. How you choose the sample members at regular intervals? It requires the start and end point from here to here. So when you defined the start point and end point, you can choose the sample from that particular. The title which I have suggested yesterday, some of the title had an uh, time limit from 1991 to 2000, from 2001 to 2010, from 2011 to 2020, and 2013 to 2023. I've just given you those start and end points. So that start and end points will help you to select the respondents from that only. So that is again the systematic sampling from where you can pick up. One more is you can find in that you will find repeat at regular intervals. What is there at the regular intervals? You have the prefixed predefined range, and it is also less time consuming. So when you define it and when you simplify it, you will be able to collect the sample respondent by applying systematic sampling method. And the last one in the probability sampling technique is the stratified random sampling. Stratified. This stratified researcher, what he does when he apply this type of sampling method in the stratified random sampling method, he divides or she divides the population in groups, and respondents, they represent the entire population or that entire group. So that division which you make, it should be very focused, and that division should not include those who are not a part of study. That is, then only there will be credibility. Otherwise, what will happen? If the respondents, if you are choosing which are representing the entire population, and when you draw the sample from that particular uh, defined group, and if some other sample comes, excuse me, automatically error will start creeping up. Error will come in that. So that should be avoided. And care should be taken that when you use the probability sampling survey or probability sampling method, you should try to reduce the sample bias. Sample bias means you are trying to investigate the teachers. And when you are trying to investigate the teachers and you have defined that I will select the respondent as the government teachers who are working in high schools. So you should not take the private school teachers. You should not take the temporary staff in that particular group of teachers. It should be focused and it should be such that there should not be ambiguity, doubt in selecting the sample. If the teachers are government school, high school teachers, it should be government high school teachers only. If you are selecting the employees of public sector bank, then the employees should belong to public sector banks only. It should not include the employees from private sector bank. Again, when there is a sample bias, then there is a error in collecting the data. So this is to be kept in mind. Many times, one more thing, when you use the probability sampling, diverse population is there. So when there is a diverse population, again, you have to be very careful in choosing that. Uh, just yesterday also and today also I repeated one point about the malnutrition. And when you define the malnutrition, where it is present, in which area it is present, in which community it is present, and the reason for the presence of malnutrition you have in mind, then that only should be contacted. That diverse population should only be contacted, and then inquiry should be made. So if you have uh, questions relating to that, and which should be asked by the respondent should be the parents, either father or mother. Then you should be focused about that particular diverse population. Draw, try to draw the accurate sample size that will bring credibility to the study. Because when you see many theses, you can access, you have an access to Shodh Ganga also. You see, the sampling is not defined in a systematic manner. It is randomly defined. This is something which is very astonishing. You're taking the you're doing the research of your lifetime, and you're not taking step by step. That is why after the non-probability, I will try to see that you also understand the steps which are there in what you call sampling steps. So when I say non-probability, you must have understood now by now that chooses the member randomly. Method is not fixed, and it is not predefined, and you choose at the last moment from the total universe or the population, and you will try to fix the methodology when actually you are trying to investigate. Uh, it is not there in the case of non-probability, that is the probability sampling. You decide in advance, and you try to collect the factual information, and then you decide how much respondents you will select as a sample for investigation. Friends, I was talking about the steps, sampling steps. Here, the biggest mistake which are made by the researchers, because when you inscribe, when you write in your dissertation or your thesis, the incomplete or unjustified sample, then that will not bring credibility, because that shows that there is some error, there is some doubt. I can say, I can give you one example. Yesterday, I told you that market researchers are now in demand because it is election season. Not only the political parties, they will try to investigate what is our position. But now the professionalism has gone to such an extent that if a member of parliament is standing for such and such constituency, he will hire he will hire a agency and say, please do the survey for me for this constituency, and I want to know what the position is so that I can work out in the last moment some permutation and combination which you suggest after the inquiry or market research. So the thing is that the research is becoming focused, and it is gaining credibility in different areas, and you can also adopt it as a profession. The market research, it's a very big area, and as I told you yesterday, every product which has to come into existence, it has to be inquired, it has to go through a market research, and if that research is done, then your product will not survive. That is why you should give weightage to the sampling steps. So the first thing in the sampling is you should define what is the universe of the study, or what is the population of the study. As I told you, universe and population are same. They are written alternately in different books. Somewhere, some it is mentioned universe, and some it is mentioned population. Both are correct, and nothing wrong is there. So drawing the universe or the population is the first thing. And if you draw the universe or population correctly, then you will be able to what you call pinpoint and select the optimum level of respondents from that particular universe or population. A very good example I will give you. A study of uh, bachelor of library students, a study of bachelor of library students using information technology during their UG courses in the University of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. This means that the students of Bachelor of library science, just now I said, Bachelor of Journalism, the students are undertaking. Now, how should I find the universe or population of Bachelor of Journalism or Bachelor of, you can say, library science? I will first try to find out how many colleges are there where journalism as a subject is taken and library science as a subject is taken. I will try to find out. So out of the 421 colleges which are attached to Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University College, where you are undertaking the pre-PhD course, our university, and you have also met the Vice Chancellor yesterday in between my lecture. We have over 421 and more colleges. And how many colleges are related to journalism and library science, where subject is taught? First, then take out those colleges, and how many students are there in those colleges, then take out the number of students in that colleges. That will become population of students undertaking journalism, students population of students undertaking library science in Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. So this is the population of the study. Even yesterday, one more study you can take. I I did not mention, but today I will mention about that topic. A study of self-help group, a study of economic status of self-help group women, self-help group members in Aurangabad district. This means that the self-help groups members, which are women, the SHG group members in Aurangabad district, I have to find the sample size of those women. First, what will I do? In district, how many SHGs are there? Then how many members in each SHGs? And after that, I will choose randomly the 10%. If it is feasible, it is okay. If it is not feasible, then I will apply some formula for obtaining the optimum sample size, which will represent the entire population of women in the self-help group in Aurangabad district. So such type of steps you should take. First, to draw the universe or population. One, first step. The second step is determine whether the sample size which you are undertaking or the universe or population which you are trying to study is finite or infinite. If it is finite, means this is limited to this much. If it is infinite, it will be it will not be infinite, means it is not known. When it is not known, then automatically what will happen? When it is not known, automatically what will happen? You have to apply some formula to obtain the optimum sample size. Optimum means worth doing, feasible of undertaking. What happens? Many times you are under control of the population or universe, and you do not take pain to find out that finite population, and you directly go for random sampling technique. What happens in this? If you go by skipping the finite and infinite population, you will find that in many studies there can be an error. So when you find that there can be an error when you are undertaking the research, this will create problems, because your results will not be applicable in the manner which you expect. And that is why most of the time, when the sampling technique is vague, when the sampling technique is not scientific, when the sampling technique is not defined, and when the sample size is not selected by undertaking steps systematically, then you will find that there is an inbuilt error in that particular selection of sample size. We have seen a number of times about that. So the first thing what you do, you should try to find out what is the universe or the population of the study. Then you should define whether it is finite or infinite. Finite in the sense, I can give you one example. If it is a study of bank managers sanctioning loans, okay, for all banks, no problem. For all public sector and private sector banks in particular district. So how many districts you are undertaking? One district or two district. Then one district or two district means the bank managers in one district or bank managers in two districts for all banks. For that purpose, universe will be all banks in that particular district, number of banks. And the second will be finite and infinite. When the number of banks are there, definitely every bank will have a manager. There may be an exception, one or two banks, they have just resigned or they are not there or they have been transferred. It may be that, but it is very negligible, 0.000. So that is very negligible. It is not there. But then maximum banks have managers. So out of that maximum banks, you can segregate it also. Private sector bank, public sector bank, foreign bank, cooperative bank. You can segregate it. Otherwise, whatever is the study title, according to that, when you define that this is the universe or population, you can go for finite and infinite. If it is also defined that it is finite, when it is finite, this means that number of bank managers are X. And out of that X, you can choose 10%. If 10% is coming to 255. Then this is the figure a single researcher can investigate anything between below 500. A single researcher can also collect the data from those people, go and collect also, or also send them and visit 50%, give them electronic questionnaire, and you can take the what you call uh, the uh, feedback from them. So this can be done after determining finite and infinite. Infinite, if you see the example of infinite, a study of uh, change in a study of uh, consumer preference selecting ready-made garments for uh, the boys and girls aged 15 to 20 years, or 10 to 20 years. This means that in Mumbai city, or in Mumbai district. So in the district of Mumbai, what is the population? Now, how many boys and girls between the age of 11 to 20? In Mumbai, you can go to the census and you try to find out. But what is important in Mumbai also, since that city is visited by thousands of people every day, and thousands of people go back every day. So in that, it will not be feasible if it is 20 lakhs also. So 10% of 20 lakhs is 2 lakhs. So it's impossible. And it is according to the census. But then some people are visiting every day. Thousands of people are visiting. So it may increase to 22 lakhs. And after 22 lakhs, the 10% for 22 lakhs will become 2 lakhs 20,000. So it is very huge. You cannot go for that. It is infinite, because you don't know how many people are coming and going. Census, you know that 20 lakhs are there, but infinite, you don't know how many people are coming and going. So that is why you will try to select the optimum sample size by applying a formula. That after that, when you draw the scientific sample size by applying the formula, your sampling will become focused, and your sampling will become credible also. So friends, we'll stop here. It is 11:30, and we will rejoin again at 11:45. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, ma'am. Kaveri, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, earlier my roll number was 27.
हाँ.
Yesterday you gave another list, so my roll number was 26. I am confused at what number should I present.
Okay.
कौन सा
Actually,
नंबर
now
मिला था मैडम आपको?
Yes, ma'am, pardon.
नहीं, आपका आपने लिस्ट कौन सा लिया है? आपने कौन सी लिस्ट मिला आपको?
कल
एक
एक
ही
लिस्ट
लिस्ट है
डाले थे
मैडम?
मैम.
हाँ?
हाँ,
मैडम
हाँ
एक
मैम,
ही
बोलिए ना।
मैं पेपर 1 और पेपर 2 की लिस्ट आपको ग्रुप पे शेयर कर देती। हाँ
अच्छा
हाँ, लेकिन सेम रोल नंबर है, हमने क्रॉस चेक किया है, अभी वो हिसाब
मैम।
से करो आप। हाँ
ओके ओके मैम।
हाँ,
हेलो
मैं शेयर कर
कावेरी
देती हूँ।
मैम.
जी
हेलो
ओके
कावेरी मॅम.
हाँ,
रोल नंबर 24 प्रेझेंट आहे पण तुम्ही ऍबसेंट केलंय.
नाही नाही, केलं केलं सर, मी केलं ते।
केलंय ना? हो.
हा हो, हे रिसेंट वालं मी टाकते,
ठीक ठीक.
रिसेंट वालं मी टाकते। मध्ये मध्ये फक्त लवकर जॉईन करत जा,
हॅलो
असं नका
नाही नाही
करू
मॅम
नाही
मी
मॅम. हॅलो
जॉईन
कावेरी
तर
मॅम.
केलंय पण
ते
ऍक्च्युअली
टाकले
काय
मी,
झालं.
पहा आता ऍबसेंटी टाकली पुन्हा पहा।
हो येस येस ओके थँक्यू मॅम.
हॅलो कावेरी मॅम.
हा
कॅन आय लिव्ह द मीटिंग 15 मिनिट?
हा, यू कॅन रिजॉईन अगेन। हा
ओके मॅम.
मॅडम
थँक्यू.
मॅडम 39 दिसत नाही.
39 इज प्रेझेंट नो.
अच्छा ठीक आहे मॅडम धन्यवाद.
Hello, Kaveri ma'am.
या
I am Sheikh Ejaz from English. My roll number is 37. तो ये जो ग्रुप में है तो 37 नंबर
नहीं
दूसरे भी
सर, दिस इज
फैकल्टी के
नॉट अ ग्रुप फॉर इंग्लिश, दिस इज अ ग्रुप फॉर फैकल्टी ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड मैनेजमेंट।
कॉमर्स एंड मैनेजमेंट. ओके ओके
Right, right. You have to join the another group.
ओके.
हॅलो
Yeah.
हॅलो मॅडम 36 नाही दिसत आहे हो.
36 is present, no? This is
निलेश उपाध्ये हो ना
absentee. This is an
पण ते दिसत
absentee.
नाही. हा
This is the absentee report आहे.
ओके 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 ठीक आहे.
हा,
Thank
present
you.
report नाही, this is absent report.
ठीक चालेल.
However, ma'am, ते कॉमर्सची एकदा टाइम टेबलची एकदा हे पाठवा ना.
सर आता मी मीटिंगला चालले, मीटिंगला आता क्लिअर होईल, मी सही वगैरे करून टाकून देते। हा
हो हो.
मॅम एक्झाम कधी होतील त्याबद्दल काही अपडेट
सर्व
आहे?
गाईडलाईन येतील, इतके लवकर तर नाही होणार, नंतर होत असते ते।
ओके
तुम्हाला अगोदर सांगितलं जाईल।
येस येस ओके थँक्यू.
मैम
हेलो मैडम.
हा बोला ना।
मॅडम मी 6-6:30 वाजता एक गुगल क्लासरूमचं एक आहे ना लिंक शेअर करेल ग्रुपला. ती जी लिंक आहे ती सर्व जे कॅन्डिडेट आहेत त्यांनी त्याला क्लिक केल्यानंतर ऑटोमॅटिकली त्या ग्रुपवरती तुम्ही सगळे जॉईन व्हाल आणि जॉईन झाल्यानंतर सर्वांनी तिथं जो रिपोर्ट आहे तो रिपोर्ट सेंड करायचा. म्हणजे
बर,
समरी येऊन
टाकू।
जाईल असं.
हा, आपण ग्रुपवर टाकू सर तसं।
ओके ओके मॅडम.
Ma'am, attendance sheet.
तुमचा आवाज बोलत होता.
uh, where we were discussing sampling technique. Just a 2 minutes on non-probability sampling, because many times how to take the non-probability sampling. I told you that where universe is not defined, where population is not defined, you can go for non-probability sampling. And in that non-probability sampling also, there are certain advantages where you can undertake the sampling technique. The first one is the best one, convenience sampling, where the universe is not known. जहां universe मालूम नहीं है, वहां you can take convenience sampling, where researcher can collect the data from a conveniently available pool of respondents. It is prompt, uncomplicated, and economical also, because the members are easily, readily approachable. And because of that, you can take the respondents according to your convenience. But here I will suggest that you consult your guide, you consult your statistician if it is possible. There is no harm in consulting the statistician. Don't worry about that. To make the study more credible, you can contact your statistician. So what you do? You should select from the pool of respondents according to your convenience. And when you select the members of respondents according to your convenience, it becomes economical also and feasible also. easy also to approach and collect it. The second in the non-probability sampling technique is judgmental or purposive sampling. Judgmental or purposive means the method in which the sample selected is based on the purpose of study. Now, the purpose of study is important here, judgmental or purposive sampling. Why? Because the population element selected in the judgment of the researcher. And when with the judgment of the researcher, you are selecting the population, then you can very well find that the respondents are credible. See, the test markets, when you want to test something, you go into the test markets. It is just for testing a certain product, whether the product is attracting the customer or not. So test market. Sometimes you can also go for the specific cases. And those specific cases, when you are doing the descriptive analysis or descriptive research, you can choose those cases. Out of those cases, you can select the optimum one which you can. If I have to give you the example, if you are undertaking a study of you can say consumer redressal among the retail what you call retail sales. So if there are any problems related to consumer redressal, means there are complaints in the retail sales and they have not taken back or they are not what you call complying to the guarantee, warranty rules and regulations, and the customer goes to the consumer court. Such type of cases you want to study. You can take the cases and you can choose it randomly according to the judgment that this fits my what you call title of the study, and I can take according to the judgment, you can take it. In the non-probability sampling, there is one more thing where there is a high level of difficulty in finding out, you can say, the respondents. Like, for example, a rare disease, the patient of a rare disease. Now, it's very difficult to find out. I can just give you an example, like a AIDS patient. People see that it's a social evil. ये एक सामाजिक जो है तो प्रॉब्लम है और उसको बहुत ही जरा उससे तीखी नजर से देखा जाता है एड्स पेशेंट को. But today it is not like that. It is normal thing because we have found that it is nothing but the deficiency of immunity. And that is why you will find that the rare patient, it is difficult to trace. But then when you adopt a non-probability sampling technique to find out such type of patient, you have to use the snowball sampling technique. What is there in the snowball sampling technique? In this, the selected respondents, they help to trace the other patients. That there is one patient in this area, there is one patient in this area, this area. So from one patient to another one, from another patient to the third one to the fourth one. And like this, it is called as snowball technique, where you come to know about the patients which are having a specialized type of disease where it is not commonly declared that this is the patient of AIDS, like that. So in this case, you have to trace that. In one more case, you will agree with me and you will try to understand also in a very nice manner, like undocumented immigrants which are living in certain country or certain area. If you want to find out who are immigrants who are undocumented, means who are not the legal people who are staying in this country. So if you try to trace one from one, you can trace the another one. You from the second one, you can trace the third and fourth and fifth and so on. So like this, it is nothing but a snowball technique where you find the second respondent from the first one and the third respondent from the second one and vice and so on and so forth. In the fourth type of non-probability sampling technique, you will find quota sampling is one of the method where researcher choose a sample group and which represent a particular population characteristic. Sample group and particular characteristic means like for example, a farmers without land holding, but they are doing farming. So farmers doing farming without land holding, because without the ownership of land, they are doing farming. This means that they are doing farming on somebody else's land, or they must have taken the land from somebody else on lease and they are doing the farmers doing farming. So like such type of farmers, if you want to classify, you can classify. You can classify the farmers on the basis of land holding from 1 to 5 hectares of land, 5 to 6 to 10 hectares of land, 11 to 20 hectares of land, you can classify. And 0 hectares of land, zero land holding, but they are farmers who are doing farming. So like this, you can choose from a particular characteristics, the group of a population. See, I have given you an example of the young boys and girls you are selecting, and you are trying to find out consumer preference towards ready-made garments purchase. You can also take the same example. The consumer preference purchasing ready-made garments online for young office goers. Young office goers, you have to define what is young. If it is below 25 or below 30, you are defining young. This means that from 18 to 30, whoever is working in offices and in other establishments, they are considered to be as young. And that part of population will be your universe. And from there, you have to select the sample size. So you can define the quota for that. And if it is infinite, if it is not known how many are there, then you can go for applying the formula and trying to select the optimum sample size. So you must have seen by the deliberations in the last 30-40 minutes related to sampling, how important it is. So if you want your study to be more credible, and if you want that the study should be more compact, pay utmost attention on this what you call sampling technique. And if you make your sampling scientific and according to what is expected, the rules and regulation, then your study will also be credible. Most of the time we see that the things are taken very randomly by the researchers, and when they take it randomly, then it becomes difficult for you to justify how you have taken those sampling, or why you have chosen that sample size. So friends, we move to the last part of our deliberation in this 2 days, what you call paper one deliberations. The last part is qualitative and quantitative research data. Why I am taking up this issue is that this is the stepping stone from where the types of data and the data collection and then analysis will be started. So you will be in a position to understand what is the qualitative research data and what is quantitative research data. And if you understand this, I think you will be in a position to make your things easy and simple and focused also. So the name itself suggests qualitative research data. It is commonly used in commerce, management, humanities, social sciences, etc., where qualitative research involves collecting, analyzing non-numerical data. Now, this is the highlight of this. In this type of research, you are collecting and analyzing the non-numerical data. So when it is non-numerical, it is called as qualitative research data. And to understand the concept, you can see the opinion. Opinion is a qualitative in nature, it is not quantified. Experience, it is qualitative in nature. So opinion or experience, which can be taken. You can also go for in-depth insight into the problem. Sometimes in questionnaire, there is a limitation. It does not extract the data which you want. So in qualitative data, when you can ask the question which is open-ended, means you can answer anything. You don't have to answer the choice ABCD, but you can answer whatever you want. I will note down the responses. So in this, so what you get is a different angle, a different perspective, a different point of view, a different insight to the problem which the researcher have undertaken. So in this, you can get the in-depth insight into the problem of research which is undertaken by the researcher. Uh, it is done through unstructured interview. Unstructured means there is no set pattern for that. Like for questionnaire, there is a set pattern. This is the first question related to demographies and other thing. And the second part will be this, third part will be this. So it is a structured one. But in this, when you take the interview, it is unstructured. You can ask the question before also, and you can ask the question afterwards also. You can just plan, but you can change the chronology of the questions also. So in this unstructured interview, you can ask open questions where you will get or generate the qualitative data. And with this qualitative data which is generated during the open questions which the researcher asks, you can able to understand a different perspective. See, for example, the cases of anxiety in bankers, anxiety in teachers, anxiety in sports person, anxiety in administrators, anxiety in gig workers. Gig workers means peace worker, जो आंग पे काम लेके करते हैं, उनके ऊपर उनके अंदर जो एंजाइटी होती है, for that also. Anxiety in IT professional, because they are concerned, they are much concerned. Not only they are concerned, but they also have a inbuilt pressure, inbuilt stress. So because of that, it can become a very good area for research for studying the anxiety in teachers, anxiety in bankers, because they need to perform, and it is measured. And when you see, when it is measured, you can witness, especially in the faces whenever the matches are being played. Sports person, you can see the anxiety on their faces, especially when they have a task in hand. If they are performing, it's okay. If they are not performing, then it is reflected on their faces. Somebody said something to you and you become anxious. It is reflected on your face. So how this is impacting your work of sports person, work of teachers, work of bankers, work of administrators, work of IT professionals, work of uniformed services people like Army, Navy, Air Force, and other uniformed services personnel who needs to deliver in time certain things, and those can be studied. The cases that is a part of qualitative research. What is the impact of video games on children? You can study that. What is the impact of internet on children? You can study the impact. What is the impact of social media on teenagers? You can study the impact. So this is nothing but a qualitative research where the qualitative data will be generated. What has impacted the teenagers? In what way it has impacted the teenagers? That will be seen. See, one more example I remember that the factors attracting employees in certain organization. Many organizations, they have a challenge to recruit the people. They don't get the appropriate people. So when they don't get the appropriate people, what they do? They try different methods to attract them. So factors which are attracting the employees to the organization, that is also an independent study which you can do. Also, when people are recruited, they are appointed, there is again a challenge of retention, whether they will stay or not. वो रहेंगे क्या नहीं? अपन अपॉइंट तो कर लिया आपने, उनको हायर तो कर लिया, लेकिन whether they will stay or not, retention is also a problem. They tend to move from one place to another, because if they are not satisfied with the work culture, they may move. So in this situation, the factors responsible for retention in certain sectors of the industry, in certain sectors of the business, you can study. In certain sectors of the economy, you can study. In certain sectors of the communities, you can study. You will very well try to understand the phenomena. So the qualitative research methods are also very exceptional, but important, and we do it every day, and we adopt it in our day-to-day course of life. The methods of collecting the qualitative data. For example, observation. Observation is one of the method where we have the habit of observing others and commenting on that. And we do the observation very minutely. When we observe the others, we don't look at ourselves so minutely. हम अपने आप को नहीं देखते बहुत बारीकी से, लेकिन हम जब दूसरों को देखते हैं तो बहुत बारीकी से. It is nothing but collecting data, quality data by observation method. And if you look at that, the observation, always it is having one more word, keen observation, so that you can understand all the facets, all the angles of research data which you wanted to collect relating to that particular problem. Then another method is the interview method. You can talk to the respondent. And when you talk to the respondent, you extract information from that respondent. And many times when you are playing with words, sometimes the respondent give you the information which otherwise is not meant for the public. And unknowingly, in subconscious manner, he or she reacts, he or she responds. And when he or she responds or reacts, then you get the information relating to that particular problem of study or interview when you are undertaking that. Sometimes you can also take the data from in the qualitative research method through focused groups. Target those groups and you try to find out. For example, a study of classes engagement, rate of classes engagement in various departments of university. Study of rate of classes engagement by teachers in different departments of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad campus. So departments, university, department, campus, and teachers. That teachers will be these respondents, and the teachers will be universe, and the students also can be respondents. And you can ask certain question to the teachers also, and you can ask certain question to the students also. So the focused group is defined in this manner. Okay. Then you can do the survey also, like I have said previously before. Undocumented people survey government is doing, and you are also doing the survey of the specialized disease cases, those who are infected with those specialized diseases. So you try to investigate and try to probe such type of respondents also. Then there is also one more method, secondary research, collecting the existing data. You collect the existing data in the secondary research from excuse me, from the text, from the videos, from audio, from images, and from the data wherever it is available. You can collect it and you can analyze it, and you can come out with conclusion what is there in that particular vehicle or particular type of area, which is defined as text, which is defined as images, which is defined as audio and videos. So you can collect the data from there also, which is one of the part of the qualitative research method. What you should do when you undertake the qualitative research, when you go and collect the data, the preparation is very, and you have to be very careful when you are collecting such type of data, how much careful you should. There are certain things which you should keep in mind, certain steps you should keep in mind while collecting the qualitative data and analyzing the data. So collecting and analyzing. Prepare your organization data. Means wherever you want to go and collect it, prepare for that organization data. Review and explore the pattern, and review or explore your data, whatever it is available. You review and explore. Why review? Because if it is focused, then the data is useful. If it is not focused, the data is not useful. So here you should review and explore, or you can examine the pattern of the data which is available. When you examine the pattern of the data which is available, you also are in a position to understand how much data is, and you do the coding. Coding, why coding? Because it should follow in chronology. The chronology is important. First this data, then second this data, third this data, because you know the picture. You are in total control of that particular topic, and you know the picture, and you define the flow. So when you define the flow, you develop the coding system, and that coding system will help you to go one by one, step by step. Then when you assign the code and when you tag them, when you tag the each respondents or each participant where you are collecting the qualitative data, you will find that the focus group is identified, and you are not taking anybody from outside the purview of your research. What are the boundaries which you have limited? From that boundary only you will select, and you will be able to pinpoint that this is my guidepost, and in between the guidepost I will choose. I will not go outside the guidepost. I will not go outside the boundary. I will not go outside the limit. This is to be defined before going and probing that thing. So what is after assigning the codes to the data, then you can tag them, and when you tag them, you can fix from where you have to take the data, and you can also find that the tagging should be done in a cohesive manner. Why it should be done in a cohesive manner? Because the chronology is maintained, that you should keep in mind. If the chronology is maintained, then there is no issue, because you will not move here and there, and there may not be infection of error. So it will be focused only, and it will go systematically only. So when you go for analysis, that is the qualitative data analysis, you should be very careful. And in the qualitative data analysis, whenever you have whenever you go for content analysis, like you have a content and you want to analyze it, what you should do? You should describe, you should categorize, you should take out common words, you should take out phrases, you should try to see that which are the part of the qualitative data collection and which are not the part of qualitative data collection. So what is not there, if you remove, then the data which is remaining is useful for the content analysis. And that is why I said describe, categorize, try to take out common words, try to take out phrases, and then go for the description analysis. That is called as content analysis. In this qualitative data analysis, apart from content analysis, there is also thematic analysis. What is that thematic analysis? It identifies and interprets pattern. What it identifies and interprets? It interprets patterns, themes in the qualitative data. So pattern and themes, if they are identified, then you always become focused. You don't move from your objective, and the variables are fixed. That is why you have to be very careful. If I need to give you an example, pattern recognition is a very high class statistical study. Today it is being very much simplified uh, with the artificial intelligence. You will find that pattern recognition and preparation of algorithms are the future, where you can identify certain patterns which are hidden and which are not known or which cannot be seen. So with the type of data which is available, you can analyze it and you can very well give a solution. I can give you one example, a very good example, so that it will be an experience for you also, how you identify the pattern and how do you, a simple application I will tell you. Theory is there, but application I will tell you. See, when you talk about application of pattern recognition, like this can be used by through artificial intelligence by like shopping malls. And if I am Mr. Azharuddin and I'm entering a certain mall, like one of the biggest mall in Asia is in Aurangabad, Prozone Mall. It is one of the biggest malls in Asia, and one of the biggest, not the one number one, but one of the biggest. It is recorded. So in that mall, if I enter, as soon as I enter, the front desk will come to know that Mr. Azharuddin has entered the mall. How? They can do face recognition and they can scan my body, and immediately the face recognition and other features will identify the customer who has entered is nothing but his Mr. Azharuddin from Aurangabad. And immediately on the screen, last 5 purchases and visits will come where I have done the purchases. And when I have done 5 latest purchases, the areas of that purchase will be known to the receptionist. And in order to see that, I am attracted again towards those things, and I should purchase something when I am in the mall, that additional discounts are offered to me. That if you purchase anything from Chroma, that is the electronic shop, for this particular, first they will welcome you on your mobile, that welcome to the Prozone Mall, and we offer you a special discount on the final price in every departmental store. If you go to the gadgets section, you will have additional 3% discount for this visit only to whatever is offered by the departmental store. If the departmental store is offering flat 20%, flat 25% on certain gadgets, I will get 23% and 28%. 3% additional. So I am motivated, I am attracted because if I purchase, I will get this much discount. So this is nothing but a type of pattern recognition where you can do it. Then there is also one more analysis in qualitative data analysis. It is called as textual analysis. In this textual analysis, we examine the content, that is the text, the structure of the text, and design of text. So when you examine the content, when you examine the structure, when you examine the design of the text, you can very well do the textual analysis and you are in a position to analyze it. Then one more qualitative data analysis you can undertake, discourse analysis. Now to study this type of analysis, that is discourse analysis, you have to study communication. To study communication, how language is used in activate the importance of language in impacting the effect, that has to be understood. And in this analysis, that is the discourse analysis. So language is one of the medium, and the communication is the study which we have to do and which we undertake in this type of research most of the time. Friends, coming to the quantitative data, if you look at the what you call the name, what is there in the quantitative data? It has a base of statistics. That is the statistical base. And statistics involves presenting, interpreting, and reasoning about the summary quantities which are derived from the data set. See, it's very simple. It is presenting, interpreting, and reasoning. Many things I have seen. If you go to again, I will tell you, if you go to the Shodh Ganga or UGC website, and you find different theses, PhD theses which are there available for your reference, you will find a table is given, a graph is given, and the certain parameters are given, and the percentage is given. And also the description is given below that. So what is presented, the data? The data is presented in the tabular form, and graphical representation is also there. And you will find a certain level of interpretation is done below that table. And if you find and if you look at the data, how it is interpreted, you will find that this shows this much percent, this shows this much percent, this shows this much, this shows this much. Okay. That you can see on the graph also, you can see the table also. So why writing again in the text? But what is missing is reasoning. And that is where you will find majority of the thesis, more than 50% of the thesis is saying this is this, this is this, and this is this. No, that is wrong, my dear friends. This is this, you can see from your eyes. What is there in the table? What is there in the graph? What is there in the pie chart? You know the percentage level and the respondents' percentage, you know. But why? What is the reason for that? That is not discussed. And that is something which is lacking in majority of the thesis. So that reasoning, if it is not there, then it has no meaning. The table has no meaning. The quantification has no meaning. Because why it is there? If you add the reason, because you are the person who is collecting the data. And while you collect the data, you also have interaction. And many times, if you do not have interaction, you have certain notion in your mind, because when you draw the questionnaire, when you prepare the questionnaire, when you prepare the questionnaire, you have some objective or you have some hypothetical question in your mind. And on the basis of that only, you have drafted that question. And out of that question, you have collected the data. So what was the reason for including that question in the questionnaire? That you should compare with the results. What is drawn from that table? You should try to correlate it and you should draw the reason or reasoning or inference or conclusion from that particular data. If you do that, then only there is a credibility for that the particular depiction of that particular table. Otherwise, that table has no meaning. कोई meaning नहीं है वो table का. इसका इतना परसेंटेज, इसका इतना परसेंटेज, इसका इतना परसेंटेज. अरे क्यों है उतना परसेंटेज? कोई रीजनिंग तो होगा. और ये रीजनिंग के वास्ते ही आपने रिसर्च किया है. अदरवाइज आपको रिसर्च करने की जरूरत नहीं. किसी को भी भेज के हम डेटा कलेक्ट करेंगे और उसको स्टैटिस्टिशियन एक क्लिक पे जो है तो टेबुलर फॉर्म में लेकर उसको जो तो डिपिक्ट कर दे सकता है. एंड ही कैन प्रेजेंट इट, बट देन ही कैन आल्सो राइट इट, दिस इज दिस मच, दिस इज दिस मच. लेकिन व्हाई दैट इज दिस मच? व्हाई? व्हाट इज द रीजन? व्हाट इज द बैकग्राउंड? बिकॉज यू नो द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ रिसर्च. You know the hypothetical question which you have in mind and which you want to prove and disprove. Then only the credibility will come to the research. Otherwise, quantification, mere quantitative data depiction will not suffice, and that data sets will not be able to explain why this data, what is said in this data. Then again, you have to, while doing this, you are undertaking common statistical quantities. Commonly, statistical quantities are taken. Measure of middle values, measure of central tendencies, such as average, mean, mode, median. Then again, the measure of spread, such as the range and the standard deviation from one point, that can be inferred, that can be understood, and that can be brought in front of the people through your research work. So here, when you apply the statistical techniques, the data which you have collected, you can uh, analyze it and present it with a reasoning. And when you analyze and present it with a reasoning, then only you will find that the data is accepted or rejected, or the point of view is accepted or rejected. So the range is self-explanatory. The standard deviation is self-explanatory. And there are parameters for judging how much deviation is accepted, how much deviation is not accepted. So drawing trying to find out the deviation is one of the important aspect in the research. Friends, in the quantitative research process, usually a researcher focuses on the descriptive statistics and statistical testing. This descriptive statistic, just now we have discussed that when you tabulate, you infer. Infer means you go for an inference, trying to conclude. You try to give the reason why this has been depicted, why the figures are there. So descriptive statistics, after the interpretation is done, you can go for statistical testing of that particular question or the particular hypothesis which you have coined in the form of null hypothesis and in the form of alternate hypothesis. So that level of statistical techniques or the statistical testing tools will define whether the null is accepted or rejected, whether the null is or the alternate is accepted or rejected. Friends, uh, this is the preparation for the next part which you are going to undertake in the coming days. If you see commonly, the quantitative data analysis are presented in different forms, and they are available in the different forms. And for primary data research, there is a certain different type of a flow which is there. What type of flow uh, is there in the primary data research? The flow will be that first to establish the conceptual framework, and then you design the data collection instrument, mostly structured questionnaire for the primary data research, structured questionnaire. There may be some open-ended question also. If the researcher feel, apart from the structured questionnaire, there can be open questions also. If the researcher feel, otherwise, if there is no need, then you can go for preparing a framework or the structure of the question. Here also, I would like to tell you many times in maximum thesis, I am seeing the demographic features are inquired. And it is not wrong. But you should present the demographic features like name, age, sex, occupation, income level, and so on and so forth. Standard of living, all these things are included in the demographic features. So every time it is not necessary. Every time it is not useful, fruitful. You can go for the what you call the demographic feature inscription only where it is required, which can be helpful uh, in correlating the other data. Like if you study the consumer preference, or if you find out the uh, the level of cigarette smoking children in the society, then you require the demographic feature because which families are involved, what is their status, and what is the educational level, and what is their age. For this purpose, if you want to correlate with those people who are smoking and who are taking drugs, the children who are taking drugs or the children who are smoking and having different types of habits. So for that purpose, you require demographic dividend or demographic features, which you can correlate for drawing the conclusion and coming to the conclusion. You can do that. But where it is uncalled for, but it is not required, demographic question will not be correlated with any other question which are there in the research, then there is no need. So please see, if it is there, if it is having some correlation for 1, 2, or 3 questions, no problem, include it. Otherwise, you can focus on adding some other variable which will be helpful when you present it. You will be in a position to present a different type of angle. So when you are able to present a different type of angle, you can include that variable instead of leaving it. Instead of the demographic features, the discussion related to demographic features, you can go for including a new variable in your study. So such type of initiatives can be taken by the researcher when you want to go for primary research data collection. Then for secondary data research, uh, you can also define a flow. What flow can be defined? Identify the data source from where you will get the data source. See, collecting the data from source, that is in the secondary data collection, is very important. because sometimes you get the data which is tentative in nature, randomized in nature. That is not required. You need to have an actual data, factual data. And that is why from where to get that data, that has to be understood by the researcher. And the research guides also, if they are asked, they will not be able to understand. And they say, go and collect. Go, you will find out. Go in the market and find out. You are pressurizing. But the respondent the researcher who is undertaking research, if by chance your guide is not cooperating in this finding out from where I will get the uh, proper data, proper data source, in the secondary research especially. In primary research, you can just go and collect the data. But in secondary research, you have to raise the data. You have to collect from different sources. And what is the authentic source? Where it is available? That has to be known by the researcher. Many, in this age of professionalism, you will find there are many websites, there are many organizations, there are many service providers which will make available the required data which you want for the secondary research. And you can purchase the data from that also. Again, what is important is the level of that particular organization, the credibility of that particular organization, from where you are collecting the authentic data. If this is done in a systematic manner, then it will have credibility. Again, I'm telling you again and again, credibility is the standard. And if the credibility is not there, then there is infection of error from this very point only. So you should identify the data source which is authentic in nature, and evaluate whether the validity of that data is there, reliability of that data is there. If the validity and reliability of that data is there, then only the inference is useful. That is, the conclusion is useful. Otherwise, the conclusions are vague, because the data set which you have acquired does not have the validity, does not have the required reliability. And when the validity and reliability of the data is not there, that data is not useful. I've seen in many cases while going through the thesis, they copy the data from the previous research as it is. They don't take the pain also to add 2 to 3 years the latest data for where you are working on. I have seen one thesis where the data set was very astonishing. The data set was from 2001 to 2010. And recently I've gone through that thesis, and I could find that the data is depicted from 2001 to 2010. I don't know why the university and other authorities, the research center authorities, have accepted it. What is the validity of that data? There is no particular event which has taken place. If there is particular event which has taken place, for example, I can give you what was the impact on those organizations, XYZ organizations or social organization, of the 2007 to 2009 recession. Then that data, which is from 2001 to 2010, it has some meaning, because it is including that period of global recession which has taken place and which impacted many countries in the world. And that data at that time, from 2001 to 2010, is valid. But if you are studying a e-banking services which are available for the customers, and the study is from 2005 to 2015, you will find that after 2015 till 2000, the start of March 2024, many new things have been added in e-banking. And in these new things which have been added in the new e-banking system, you will find that it has been on the graph has been going up for using those banking facilities which are constituted or included after the period of 2015 to date, that is April 2024. So this 9 years data is more important than the data from 2005 to 2015. It will be considered as the old data, redundant data, because that data is not the results, the inference, the what you call conclusions are not applicable to the banks, because it is based on a old data process and old data analysis. That is why you will find that uh, what what is credible is the data which you have acquired. It is having validity and reliability. Once data is acquired, you can go for processing, make ready for analysis, and carry on the exploratory data analysis, or carry on the inferential analysis, depending upon the qualitative and quantitative data, and report your findings. So that can be done for secondary research. Finally, what is the quantitative data set? The question uh, will be in front of every researcher. It is nothing but a factual information which involves numbers and categories, which involves numbers and categories. There is a choice, there is an option, there is a range from which you can choose. And when there is an option, there is a range which you can choose. This means that the factual information which is involving the numbers and categories are reliable. And this shows that there are, you can categorize in three forms the datas. One is the numerical data. It could be whole numbers of decimals. And the name is self-explanatory, numerical, where numbers are inquired and numbers are depicted and numbers are analyzed, and percentage is the output. So the numerical data, where whole numbers or decimals are depicted, it has its own category. Then the second one is the category of where you will find ordinal data. Ordinal data means you go with natural ordering. Natural ordering, strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. You can measure it on the 3-point scale, you can measure it on the 5-point scale, you can do it. And that is nothing but it is ordinal data. And that categories without agreed ordering is also there. And that category can be understood from example like you can say, for example, protein, dairy, fruit, vegetable. Now these are the categories. So here you cannot go for the ordering as you have done in the case of the previous thing, that is agree, strongly agree, this and that. So here wherever he describes the name, label, category without natural order, it is nothing but a nominal data. And when I say it is a nominal data, then you should be able to understand that without agreed ordering, the nominal data which has been collected, the best type of quantitative data in statistical analysis is numerical, ordinal, and nominal. And numerical we have seen, ordinal, order in categories, natural order, rank, hierarchy in the scale, from top to bottom, number 1 to the down at the level. So numerical, ordinal, and nominal. It is important for every researcher to know what kind of data you are planning to collect or analyze. So when I say it is important to know what kind of data you are planning to collect or analyze, you should be in control of that particular data. If you do not know what kind of data you are planning to collect, then your research will be vague. You will not be pinpointed, and there are chances that there will be error. Friends, the topic is very vast, but then I have tried to make it very concise so that if you know the basics of this qualitative and quantitative data, that will be helpful for you in understanding in future. Like you should be very focused when you are differentiating between the data. When you talk about numerical data, it should be numbers and decimals. So that is self-explanatory. And when you talk about the categories, it is nothing but an ordinal data. And in ordinal data, there is a order in the categories. Order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is natural order. There is ranking. There is scaling. Hierarchical scale is there. And that you will see, the name is explanatory, ordinal. And when you talk about the nominal data, it describes the category without natural order. And I give you an example of vegetable. And you are talking about the question about vegetable. You cannot rank it. You cannot give the order, but you will describe it qualitatively. And same is the case when you are describing fruits, dry fruits, and you are describing the different types of things which are not having a natural order. That is included in the nominal data. Friends, yesterday when I was talking, I did not I get that much time to answer your questions. But then, if any questions are there relating to yesterday's deliberation, that is the research and you can say the uh, topic of selection, you can ask questions relating to that selection of the topic, the domain you should select, the dependent and independent variable you should select. You can do it in a systematic manner. And you can ask me the question because we have 8 minutes left, and that in that 8 minutes we can do that. One thing which I just remember, I left it because of the changeover of the topics yesterday. I told you that I will write, I will explain you by taking one example of the topic, how to write it, the review, and what is the method which should be used. So I will take one topic which will be an example. And see, some questions are appearing on the sample size, which is the ideal sample size. Usually we take 10% of the total, which is the ideal and standard sample size, which is taken for the for research. 10% of the total population. That is why sometimes you can take 10% directly. Sometimes you have to undertake the optimum sample size formula, apply that, and then obtain the optimum sample, because the 10% size is too big for you to undertake research. I gave you an example today relating to the sample size. Like if we are studying the bank manager's parameter for sanctioning loans of public and private sector banks in Aurangabad city. So if there are 25 banks in Aurangabad city, then there are 25 managers, and the branches, including the branches, it is 100. So you can go for 10-1. And if it is 200 banks which are available, you can go for 20. But if you take 30 or if you take 40, it will not be wrong, because it is it is above the 10% mark, which is 20. And when it is about 20, then you can very well. Yeah, one topic has appeared. Can you again uh, show it on the screen? Your topic, we will write the review for you. So the 10% for the banks is easy to understand. And for more reliability, you can take 20%, 50, 30% also, if it is less. But as far, yeah, study of buying behavior of rural, study of buying behavior of rural consumers. Yes, can you again show a study of buying behavior of rural consumers? Yes. If you can tell me orally, you can open your mic and tell me. Buying
Good morning,
rural
sir.
based on rural consumers based on m-commerce, based on m-commerce in Marathwada region. Okay, very good. So a study
Good
of
afternoon.
consumer behavior. Okay, consumer behavior. We have got one sample topic, and we will write the review for that. One of the yeah, critical analysis. Thank you very much. We cannot take too many, but then we will take now this first one, a study of consumer behavior of rural consumers. Rural consumers. Huh.
A study of buying behavior of rural consumer based on commerce. That means mobile commerce.
Rural consumers based
Based
on
on
yes, based on m-commerce. Yes, I have taken it. Okay, friends, let us do it practically now. How to write the review, because it will start from the name of the author. And what is the name of the author now? Yes. What is the name of the author?
Hello?
What is the name of the author?
Buying behavior.
Smita, what is the name? What is your name?
Amrita name.
Oh my God, I cannot understand your name. Okay, can you just write it for me? Yes. The name? Amruta Dhawne. Okay, Amruta. Amruta. Okay, we'll take the name Amruta. Friends, we have the topic, a study of consumer behavior of rural consumer based on m-commerce in Marathwada region. A very interesting topic and very nice topic. Means it is the latest topic, and my only concern is whether m-commerce is used by the rural consumers or not. Whether you have done the sufficient review or pilot survey. If it is there, then there is no problem. Then you can very well do that. Okay. So according to our standard, how you should write the review of literature. First, what you will write? The name of the author or authors. And the first point which will be there in the line will be Amruta. So this is the name of the author, Amruta. So after Amruta, if there are two names, Amruta and Rajesh. So Rajesh something. So you can write Amruta, Rajesh. If there are Amruta, Rajesh, Azharuddin, then Suresh and Wankhede. If there are 5, so it is difficult to write all the 5 names. So what you write? Amruta et al. Amruta et.al means there are more than one author with Amruta. So in that case, what you do? In review, you write only Amruta et al. And in the bibliography, you write all the names, 5 names. Okay. So that is the starting of the review where you can write the name Amruta. So Amruta, then you write comma. After that, year of publication. If it is a book written by Amruta, it is a research paper written by Amruta and others. If it is an article written by Amruta in the newspaper or magazine, or if it is an MPhil thesis of Amruta, or if it is a PhD thesis of Amruta, you should write the year of publication, whatever it is. So let us consider it as 2023. Somebody is making chapati, I think, and she has opened the mic. Okay, it is lunchtime, I understand, but it is still 4 minutes left, so we can do the review very well. Okay, so Amruta et al. Or Amruta, comma, year of publication 2024. The publication which is done in the form of book, research paper, or MPhil PhD thesis or article. Okay. Then the title of the book, title of the journal. This title is PhD title. Okay. So this is the title of the research. That is the PhD research. So first is author Amruta, then 2024, and third is the title, that is a study of consumer behavior of rural consumers based on M-commerce in Marathwada region. So this will be the title of the research of PhD, which will be written after Amruta and 2024. So Amruta, comma, 2024, comma, then this title, the study of consumer behavior of rural consumer based on M-commerce in Marathwada region, comma. So these 3 things we have written. What will come? If you find that there is a one chapter which is useful in this thesis, and that chapter is titled as M-commerce in rural Marathwada. So this title is worth information. Then you can write the title of the chapter, title of the research paper, or title of the article, or title of the section, whatever is there. So after Amruta 2024 and title of the research, which I have already told you now, you will write the title M-commerce in Marathwada region. This is the title of the chapter which is there in the thesis. So title of the chapter in the book and thesis will be same. So you can write the name of the chapter. Okay. After that, again, you will put comma. Then you will write the name of the publication. Now, this, if it is in the book form, which is published, the research work, but published, then you can write the name of the publication. If not, then who is the publisher? From where this research has come? The research has come from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad. This is the name of the publication, which has been the publication which has been done from the research of commerce and management or humanities faculty of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad. So what happened now? Amruta, number 1, comma, 2024, comma, then a study of consumer behavior of rural consumers based on M-commerce Marathwada region, comma, title of the chapter, M-commerce in Marathwada region, comma, name of the publication, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad, name of the publication, comma, then place of publication, name of the city where university is there. If it is Mumbai University, the name, the place of publication will be Mumbai. If it is Pune University, then Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune. Then if it is Dr. Bamu, it will be Aurangabad. And if it is the textbook, if it is from Himalaya, it is published by Himalaya publication, it will be Mumbai. If it is the S. Chand, then it will be Delhi. Then if it is Oxford, it can be London. If it is Sage, it is again Mumbai. Mumbai or Delhi, from wherever head office it is published. So place of publication should be written. So what we have now? We have Amruta, we have 24, 2024. We have the title consumer behavior, rural consumer. Then we have the title of the chapter, M-commerce in Marathwada region. Then we have the name of the publisher, that is the university, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. And where is the place of publication? Aurangabad. Then ISBN and ISSN number. There is no ISBN and ISSN number for the thesis. Then you will put it, there is no need of writing anything. Then you will just put the comma. And then if you take something from the thesis, then you write the page number. If not, your review will stop at place of publication, that is Aurangabad. Now, what is happening here is, when you are writing the review of the textbook or reference book, you have ISBN number, International Standard Book Number. And if you are writing, if you are taking reviewing the research journal, then automatically you will have International Standard Series number, that is the ISSN number. So, friends, that will be at number 7. And if you take the material from the thesis of Amruta in your research work, then you will write page number. If not, you will not write the page number. And review will finish here only. And in the bibliography, you write up to place of publication only. Okay. So like this, you can write these two, what you call, lines or 3 lines of review first, and then you start the review. If it is a book or if it is a thesis, what is the book about? What is the thesis about? And what does it explain? Then what is included and what is the outcome? That can be, the 3 questions can be asked, and that can be written in 2 to 3 lines. Sometimes it is not difficult. It is very difficult to explain in 2 to 3 lines, and it takes 1 paragraph. No problem. You can write the review for 1 page also, full page, where you will write the review in 2, 3 paragraphs. It's okay, no problem, because that study is credible, and that study is according to your research work which you have undertaken. I hope we have been able to deliberate on the topics of research right from the start. What is the research to the qualitative and quantitative data which is available, and what type of approach you should take in the qualitative and quantitative data. I thank the university authorities for giving me a chance to deliberate and interact with the students of pre-PhD course. And I hope we will be meeting again with the subject now, not related to the research methodology, but the very interesting subjects we will discuss in the coming days, wherever it is possible. If somebody gets absent also, I'm ready with certain topics where we will be able to deliberate and we'll be able to have an exchange. Thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch and get ready for the next session. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you ever so much, Azhar sir, for your wonderful time, for your wonderful explanation, your feedback. Thank you so much, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. मॅडम मीटिंग संपली का?